fixing a Xanax, and drinking at the same time.
Yeah.
And before long, like the prescriptions, the doctor gave me wasn't enough.
Right.
And I get outside and he turns around and sucker punches me. All that. And next day I come into work and they say I'm fired for defending myself.
Speaking of the Jesus of your understanding, and I think I might have mentioned this already, but I call my fall into addiction and what I've gone through and come back from afterwards, I call it my personal death and resurrection. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Sober Awakening Podcast. I am Tim. I am the president, CEO, and founder of Sober Awakening. I'm here today for our first ever on location shoot with my guy, Jordan. How do you say, you know what? I want to say Matulevich all the time. That's not right.
Definitely not right.
Sorry.
It's Matulevich.
Matulevich. Sorry, Jordan. You wouldn't know it, but Jordan and I have known each other for several years now in sobriety through AA. And Jordan is the founder of his own nonprofit enterprise. We're here this morning at the Be Humble Gym. The Be Humble Gym is Jordan's creation. It is also a 5 nonprofit organization, and he offers athletic training, boot camps, things like that to children who are mentally handicapped. Is that correct?
Mentally and physically.
Mentally and physically handicapped.
Disabled.
All right.
And everything is always 100% free for the kids. All they have to do is show up. I donate all my time. If money comes into the non-for-profit, it all goes into the gym 100%. I've never taken any money for any of the services I do for the kids.
That's incredible. So like I had said, you and I met each other some years ago now in AA, and you as well as me, we're both in the same boat in the respect that we are sober out loud. We are open about our recovery and our sobriety. I'm a big believer that my own addiction and recovery has been my personal death and resurrection.
Yeah, 100%. Like most people, that knew me back then are shocked on what I do today. And most people I know in my present are shocked what I did back in the day. It's mind blowing.
Without a doubt. So let's just jump right in here before we talk about you and your evolution and what caused you to found the Be Humble Gym. But let's back up to back in the day.
Okay.
Let's go back and start with Jordan and where you started with all of your substance use/abuse.
Yeah. I say I live a normal life, but now since I look back on it, it was far from normal. I started experimenting with cannabis and alcohol around 12 years of age. So I was very young when I started drinking. And I grew up in a small town, Then once I started being able to drive, my access to things got a lot bigger. And I'd drink, I'd smoke weed. Growing up in a small town, like we'd smoke and drink, on the weekends.
Right. Yeah. So growing up in a small town, smoking and drinking on the weekends, where did it go into your adult life? Didn't you go, you have military history in your background, don't
Yes.
you? Yeah.
I actually enlisted 24 years ago today on September 7th of 2001. Then 4 days
Absolutely.
later, 9/11 happened. Here I am, 18 years old, waiting to be shipped off to boot camp. Then the biggest attack since Pearl Harbor happened. So needless to say, going through the military is when you're just entering war is a very high stress situation. They always said boots on the ground, got to get more boots on the ground. Well, that was all the troops they were training, and I was one of them.
So did you see actual combat?
No, I did not. I was in the military about 9 years, and I was getting ready to be shipped off to Afghanistan. I was excited about it, get to do my part, get to, fight for my country. And I was going through all the processes Then one of the processes is you got to get a lot of vaccinations going to different countries and everything. And they gave me the anthrax vaccine because I didn't know about weapons of mass destruction, all that. So with the anthrax vaccine, I had some bad reaction to it and it caused huge boils on the back of my head,
Wow.
like huge boils. I still have scar tissue all over the back of my head from it. And I guess more people I talked to, that was the thing from getting all these different vaccines is different side effects. And I think the anthrax was either a 2-part or a 3-part vaccination system. So obviously they wouldn't give me the second or third one. And by them not being able to give me those two different vaccinations, I became non-deployable and I wasn't able to go serve.
So at what time did that lead to a discharge?
No, discharge didn't come till later, but we're missing a lot of spots in my history.
Go ahead. Start filling me in.
I was 18, turned 19 in basic training, and the military is like a big work hard, play hard type situation. And I started drinking heavily, like multiple nights a week, after I get off training, whatever. And I did that for years. When I was 20, I got in some trouble for underage drinking. I was passed out in a car, pull up to the main gate, cops get to the car. I'm passed out, so they start to pull me out of this vehicle, and I come to, and I start fighting them.
Is this military police?
Yes, this is military police. And so I get taken in, thrown in jail. Long story short, I had to do 30 days in the brig. It was basically, like military jail, like hard labor type stuff. They'd have you dig in holes just to dig holes.
Right.
Like we'd go and I mean by me, I'd dig a 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot hole, climb out, have the sergeant inspect it, fill it in, dig
Fill it
me
in.
another one over here.
Right. So they were just making you work just to work. It was
Yeah.
just punishment.
It was just,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna enjoy the suck,
Yeah.
and if you make it through this, we won't kick you out of the military. I had a choice. I could be kicked out or I could do 30 days labor.
So 30 days labor ends. You did not get banged up, drink, or anything like that in 30 days labor, obviously.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
break.
like, I was locked down,
Right.
I couldn't go anywhere.
All right. So then what comes after that?
What comes after that is I realize life is tough,
Yeah.
and I need to be tough.
Oh.
So, that's when I started working out.
Yeah.
That's where my fitness journey began. I enlisted in the military at 6'2", like 155 pounds. So I was a small guy.
6'2", 150. Oh, 155. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a string bean.
All right. Yeah.
And yeah, I just loved working out and didn't stop me from drinking. I just didn't get caught again. And this was all through different stages of just military training. I went through military training. I probably spent 3.5, 4 years out of my 12 years in the military just training. Come back home because I was in the Air Guard, 183rd out here at Springfield. And I was in a unit where we traveled the world installing different communication systems at different bases. So I got to see a lot of the world doing that. And also, since 9/11 happened, military response at bases, we went up in our threat level. So we needed more people with more guns running around the base to make it secure. And I was able to get with the cops and work full time on active duty out at the base. So when a job for my engineering unit, I'd go get off active duty orders, get on those orders, and just travel the country, travel the world. I've seen a lot of cool places, come back. And then I was able to do military police when I wasn't doing that. So it was like the best of both worlds.
So you went from being thrown in the brig by the military police to becoming military police.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
It worked. It works in mysterious ways.
it really
you know.
does. Yeah, absolutely.
But then, like in AA now, I know about it. It's new people, places, things. Thing is, I came back home. So there wasn't new people, places, and things. I was still hanging out with the old group, drinking, being rowdy. that
Okay.
type stuff. I mean, obviously, you couldn't smoke weed. So that also made my drinking go up, another way to like unwind,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, my drinking was every night. I'd get
Right.
off work, go home, drink 12 pack, that type stuff. I was working out 5 to 6 days a week here,
Uh-huh.
and I'd say I'm
So
around.
you were back home now, you're in the National Guard,
Yes.
and you're drinking 12 pack a night,
Yeah.
working out every day.
Working out every day.
Uh,
Then around 24 or 25, I'm thinking 25. I've been working out now like 5 years, and I'm like, let's try some steroids out. Let's see how that goes. And I was able to, there's different websites and forums, and I was able to acquire some steroids. And at this same time, I was out of the military. Did 6 years in the military, but then I got out for 6 months trying to get full custody of my son. They're all like, well, you can't have custody. You can ship off to war, all that. Needless to say, in the state of Illinois, guys don't get much parenting time. So I ended up reenlisting back in the military. But during those 6 months, I put on like 40 pounds of muscle.
all right.
I went from like,
You're pretty jacked up. You weren't chubby.
I was damn ripped.
You were okay.
I had
Yeah.
a 64-inch chest
Uh-huh.
with a 32-inch
Yeah.
waist. Yeah, I was just massive. Oh, and just part of it. Get off work at the base, go to the gym, lift, go home, drink. Yeah. I thought this
Right.
was normal. I did this for over a decade.
Okay.
Along the way, baseball made it so steroids got really expensive. Like
Yeah.
they times it in price like tenfold. And I found a way to make my own steroids on the internet. I'd take different cattle drugs
Uh-huh.
that they inject in
Right.
cattle, and I'd break them down in a way
Yeah.
and take all the testosterone out of it,
Uh-huh.
and I could make my own steroids that way.
Isn't it funny how whether we're addicted to alcohol or party drugs or steroids, we all
Yeah.
addicts always find a way to make it happen.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we figure it out.
Like,
Yeah.
so, like, most of the times it comes in a little, like, 10 mil vial.
Yeah.
I was making so much, it was in 1 liter
Yep.
mason jars.
All right. And
Uh,
would you take and you'd shoot that up? Is that how you do it?
yeah,
You'd needle it or
you'd inject it into a
inject
muscle.
it? Yeah.
Like,
I've never done steroids myself. I know plenty of people who have experimented
yeah,
with
like,
steroids, but
there's something called HRT,
okay.
hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah, I've heard of
They
that.
inject testosterone, but from a doctor. Normal doctors would do anywhere from like 150 to 250 milligrams of steroids
Okay.
a week. I was doing anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of steroids a week. So
You were pretty roided up.
I was really roided up.
And did you have all the things you hear about like roid rage and
Oh yeah. The thing is, then like with drinking, recreational drugs, that type
right?
of stuff, I just love to fight people.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Were you getting in a lot of bar fights and things like
Yeah.
that?
I was the big dude, and everybody wants to beat up the big dude
Uh-huh.
because they're drunk and they got something to prove.
Yeah.
Then I'm the asshole for beating up the little guy.
Yeah, back in the drinking days, I got a lot of buddies who like the whole bar brawl thing. You always have
Yeah.
those guys in the group and everything. I was never that guy.
I was the guy that all my buddies would talk shit to people, and then they just call me in to freaking save their ass.
Yeah.
I was okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. I was a peaceful drunk. I made a lot of jokes and stuff.
No,
Yeah,
I was extremely violent.
really. It's interesting. My wife tells me that, when she met me in our 20s, I obviously had instances where my drinking was abnormal. And then on into my 30s, when it started progressing to drinking all the time, my wife, it's funny because she says she had dated other people in her past that had drinking issues, but she didn't catch it with me as quickly, or it went further, because when I drank or I drank too much, I was still fun and I was still like, I didn't get nasty or
Oh,
angry or violent or anything like that. Like
yeah.
I was a fun drunk until it just got like, oh, I'm just really drunk, So, I
Yeah.
mean, I was never, I never was angry or
Yeah.
violent or anything. But that's not uncommon. Obviously, you put the steroids in there
Yeah.
and the
Being
drinking.
5 years old,
Yeah.
you
Was there
know.
anything else you added on, like some Coke?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
like, we'd have to take drug tests.
Uh-huh.
I'd experiment with cocaine. Cocaine, you can drink a lot
Sure.
more.
Yeah, I've heard
I
that.
mean, cocaine's awesome.
You
I just
know,
can't do it anymore.
I am glad I never found cocaine
Yeah.
in my addiction. I think that it's kind of a blessing, but when I was hungover or I would just drink more alcohol to kind of self-medicate the withdrawal.
Yeah, a little
But
hair of the dog.
yeah, hair of the dog. But people who get into the cocaine, they just snort some cocaine the next morning, and I understand you are like right as rain.
That's what
And
they say, but me being the alcoholic and addict, I never
right.
had cocaine left over the next day.
Okay.
I'd always
you
I'd
always
always do it all.
you were just like pedal to the metal.
Yeah, just
Uh-huh.
full bore. Like, we never set off to, like, make a night of doing cocaine, but, like, we'd end up going and getting some cocaine by the end
Right.
of the night.
But you did.
It wasn't, like, an everyday thing, but, like, when it was done,
Right.
it was done in excess.
So you were here, you're at the Guard, you're partying a lot.
Yeah.
Where did you go to? What place did you then go to where maybe you met your wife? Where did it all come to a head when you were like, you had to get sober?
We're not even close
Okay.
to there yet.
All right.
We're not even close.
All right.
All right, let's start it off by my first wife.
Your first wife.
First wife. Everybody
Okay.
needs a practice wife until they find a good one.
I've been married almost 25 years.
Nice.
I could make a lot of jokes about that, but I'm just
Yeah.
gonna. My wife watches these, so
Oh, cool.
practice wife. Oh, never
But-
mind.
No, I was gonna settle down from drinking and partying and dating a lot of girls, and I'm like, I'm gonna get married, have a family, that type thing.
Right.
Because the relationship with my son's mother didn't work out. And I'm like, I'm gonna settle down, get married. This is around 2009-ish, 2010-ish, I think. And so I met a girl, married her, gonna have, like my perfect little dream, wife, kids, working at the base, life's going good. And she ended up getting pregnant, so that was cool. Like, I get a second chance on having a family here. And we went through all that. Then in 2012, July, I tore my bicep off deadlifting. So I was like seriously hurt, couldn't lift. Then that's all I did was work out. That's the only thing I was known for, was lifting a bunch. And so I couldn't do that. Then wife comes to have her baby. This is awesome, whatever. Baby came out a different race. She had an affair with a Mexican guy, and I
Okay.
found out during childbirth.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was pretty freaking awful. You could tell, like, instantly this child wasn't mine,
Right.
and
Did you see the child arrive in the
Yeah.
world?
yeah,
I did
there.
with my daughter as well.
I was
So
there. Same thing with my son.
I can't imagine how that felt.
Baby's a little tan. Funny part is,
We have smiles on our face telling this story right now, but I bet it was fairly traumatic time.
oh yeah,
Oh,
funny
man.
part is the nurse that delivered the baby remembered it,
Yeah.
and is also the nurse that trained my current wife on how to deliver babies. Little small world, twist of fate.
It is a small world.
Needless to say, I tried to make it work for, several months. We got a DNA test. Guess what? It's a 0% chance that I'm the dad. And it just went to a downhill tumble. Yeah, like, it went from drinking like a 12-pack a night to drinking a 30-pack a night. And it was just steady decline. I'd be hungover and have like rage incidents. The military ended up sending me to a psychiatrist, and this psychiatrist started prescribing me benzos.
Yeah. There we go with the Xanax.
There's the interest of the Xanax, and my body loves Xanax.
Yeah.
And with what I was going through, I just wanted to forget everything.
Yeah.
So I found out Xanax, you can do that. You feel awesome. You don't care about anything. It just
Right.
makes you numb to everything. So I start mixing Xanax, and drinking at the same time.
Yeah.
And before long, like the prescriptions, the doctor gave me wasn't enough. I'm not going to take 2 pills a day, for 30 days. So I started buying them off the street, getting lots of Xanax. And it just went on from there until I drank away everything.
Yeah.
Had to sell my house, had to move back into the basement with my parents' house,
And you had gotten divorced.
gotten divorced. And yeah, I was just going to drink myself away,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've talked to a couple people lately who they didn't say they were going to kill themselves, commit suicide, but their plan was that they were just going to drink and drug themselves into
Oh, no, I was
to death.
definitely going to kill
Yeah.
myself.
Oh, well, but were you going to do it like leaving Las Vegas fashion and just drink yourself and to
No,
death, or were you gonna like
No,
really there was
was-
gonna be an event?
Yeah, I was going to start a shotgun.
What did you say? Start a shotgun?
Yeah,
I get it. I've never heard that terminology before.
it's a military thing.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
All right,
we got
start the shotgun.
we got a sick sense of humor.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm all about the sense of humor. I just hadn't heard that one before, but go ahead.
So, like, when I got out of the military, I'd just drink and do massive amounts of Xanax. And every morning, I'd unload my shotgun and be like, I ain't going to drink today or do drugs. And by noon, I'm drinking and doing drugs. By 4 p.m., I'm loading that shotgun back up and seeing if today was the day I had the balls enough to pull that trigger. Luckily, that day never came.
Obviously,
I'm still here.
right.
And
Here we are.
that went on for months until finally I just asked for help.
Who'd you ask?
I told my brother, I'm like,
Okay.
I think I'm going to freaking kill myself today.
Uh-huh.
Like, today's the day. And I went up to the psych floor and I was there for about a week, like massive anxiety, massive depression, like I was literally going to kill myself.
Sure.
So I'm in this psych floor for about 10 days. And this girl I was dating would come up and see me every day still. I've known her for about 5 weeks. Came every day, to check on me. And I got out and slowed down on the drinking for a little bit.
Right. Slowed down for a little bit after the
Slowed down
cycle.
for a little bit.
And what about the drugs?
Oh, still
with the Xanax?
Yeah, I tried to manage it a little bit.
Yeah. That we know that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that went on for a while. And then the girl I seen every day in the psych floor, her dad passed away. And I was right there by her side the whole time, helped her get through her dad's passing. They're best friends. He was older in life, so he was like her best friend.
Okay.
He was retired, took her to school every day, like literally her best friend. And I got her through that.
Okay.
And it was tough. She was highly depressed. Everybody was. It happened, I think, 2 days before Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And literally, like, all of us went on like a big 2-month bender.
All right.
And during that bender, I got a DUI.
All right.
And I wasn't drunk. I was on a bunch of Xanax. Xanax, for some reason, made me want to go on adventures.
Right. Okay.
Let's go on an adventure. Don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to go drive around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got hit a parked car, got pulled over, all that. I thought I was going to get off on it.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not drunk. I'll take your breathalyzer.
Yeah.
Blue zeros. And I'm like, have a good day.
Uh-huh.
Like, get in the back of the truck.
Right.
And I'm like, crap. So
yeah, they're going to take you and test you for other stuff. Yeah.
All that. Got a DUI. And that was in end of February.
Yeah.
Beginning of March time. And yeah, I needed help.
Yeah.
That girl that went to the psych floor every day.
Yeah.
And the girl I helped with her dad's passing.
Yeah.
I'm still with that girl.
Oh, I was going to say, is that the one is that your wife?
That's my current wife.
Your current wife,
Second wife.
Second wife, not your practice wife.
Good news is she's like the best wife I've ever had.
Well, I hope so. How many years you been married?
10 years.
Congrats. Very
yeah,
nice.
we got Well, we need to back up a little bit. So, needless to say, she had a friend that was in AA.
Okay.
Yeah, Michael R.
Huh?
And he was a drug counselor at the time. Like
Yes.
he 12-stepped me, all that,
Yeah.
got me into a rehab up in Bloomington. And I literally like detoxed in a hospital bed for about 10 days. All this Xanax and alcohol.
I bet that was just tough.
It was rough. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't poop for like 9 days. And finally I had to ask this nurse, I'm like, just give me whatever. Like 9 days in a hospital bed, miserable.
Yeah.
Like just withdrawing. I had to do it in a hospital because with the amount of Xanax I was taking anywhere from 20 to 30 Xanax a day.
Yeah. When you go through that type of withdrawal, you're at risk for all kinds of things, cardiac events, things like that.
So I had to go to a hospital to do it.
Right.
Went through that, went through outpatient, everything's going great. My wife and I get married. Then we buy this house. So we move here and everything's going great, but then I relapse.
You relapse. And where were you working at the time?
I stole them from work.
You what from work?
Stole the Xanax from work.
You stole the Xanax from work.
Yeah.
Were you working at one of the
nursing homes?
At a nursing home.
I threw a hell of a celebration once I got 7 years sober when I could no longer be arrested for the crimes I don't remember committing.
Yeah, right.
Needless to say, I got some Xanax, and after that, it was off to the races again. Xanax instantly led to booze and Xanax. Then the wife found out I was drinking again.
Yep, that has a way of happening, doesn't it?
She was pissed, so I went to rehab again. And this one, it was in Gateway.
All right.
Went through the inpatient, went through the outpatient, graduated, all that, and I'd still go to meetings this whole time at 7 a.m.
Sure.
And I was trying to get sober.
Yeah.
I just, couldn't quit drinking for my wife.
Right.
And graduate, rehab, all that. And it was football playoff season. And I'm throwing, like your little pity party for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, poor me, I can't drink and watch football no more.
Right.
So football caused me to start drinking again. And it was
the excuse that you used
to
start drinking again.
Yeah. And went on a hell of a bender.
So you really had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, you tried to get sober several times, and that's not uncommon with addicts. A lot of us, because I say I have been on the sobriety journey for 10 years, but I'm working on year number 7 since I drank. You know what I mean? So that's not uncommon. I mean, a lot of people have those ups and downs.
Some people get their ass kicked hard enough.
Yeah.
They just stop.
Yeah.
Me, I wasn't ready for the party to be.
You were ready for the party to. See, I always thought I was just smart enough to. Yeah. I've got it under control now. I can have that one beer or whatever, and it always snowballed with me.
So it's January. I'm drinking again. Wife's working midnights, and I wanted to limit my drinking. She took the car keys, so I'd have to walk across Business 55 here to the Casey's.
Sure, walk over to the gas station.
Yep. Buy a couple big beers, walk back across, and it's nighttime, so it's like -10.
Just a couple big beers.
Just a couple big beers, and then I'm going to be good there. So then I drank them couple big beers. And I went back and forth.
And then you're walking back over there, right?
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, this is a common thing with addicts. We always buy just a couple because we tell ourselves that's all it's going to be.
That's all.
And then as they're gone, we're right back there at the gas station.
Then I kept doing that throughout the night. And then finally the guy's like, hey, we're getting ready to close. So, buy me about 4 big beers and a pint of whiskey. Then I come back drinking on that. It's probably like 2:00 in the morning. I'm still drunk and the wife gets off in 5 hours and comes home because she was a night shift nurse. So I'm like, I need to do something to make it so she wouldn't even be mad that I'm pissed drunk when she gets home. So drunk Jordan is genius Jordan. So I decided,
aren't we all when we're intoxicated?
Yeah, I decided to paint the garage door going into the house. So you come in the garage, then you have the garage door going into the house. I painted it white, found some white paint in the basement, found some red paint in the basement. Drunken Jordan's a genius. I wrote, I heart Leslie on the door. in big letters.
So
Big
you
red paint.
you paint that on the door that you love Leslie, your wife.
Yeah.
And you're loaded as all get
I
out.
was passed out by the time
Okay,
she
and you
got
think
home.
that's just gonna make everything right?
Yeah, like get out of jail card free.
Yeah, I painted "I love Leslie" on the
Yeah.
garage door and she's gonna forgive me for being drunk out of my mind.
Yeah.
After I'm supposedly sober.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
that was my last drunk.
That was your last drunk.
Yeah.
All right, and that was it.
That was it. Stop drinking. Well, she had a long come to Jesus talk with me.
Long come to Jesus talk with you.
And
Yeah,
she's all like, "Are you ready to stop drinking?
yeah,
Have you finally had enough?" And I'm
yeah,
like, "Yes."
yeah, yeah. Did she give you an ultimatum? Like, was it kind of
Uh,
like? Because I was never told. My wife never said we're definitely, gonna kick you out or this will end the marriage. But I mean, it was. I knew I couldn't push things much further.
Well, unlike like all the other relapses
Yeah,
and drinking things, she discovered Al-Anon. For people that don't know, Al-Anon is like for family members
Yeah.
with alcoholic.
yeah,
Like not how to fix them or anything,
yeah.
but how to make it so you can live your best life.
Yes, it's a support group for people who have loved ones who are alcoholics
yeah.
or in recovery or whatever. It's your own circle of
Yeah. And
it's a support group.
And she put her foot down
Yeah,
and she's like, "Booze or you're gone."
yeah. Booze or you're gone. So you got an ultimatum.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a strict ultimatum.
You got a strict ultimatum, right?
And yeah, that was my last drink.
All right. So you got into AA and all that stuff, though.
I was in AA for
You were in already
over a year.
Okay, during these ups and downs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could never make it like 30 days.
Okay.
And this was like my final drunk. Like I've had enough.
So you've quit. What led to the building of Be Humble Gym, though, and the starting of this nonprofit?
I was doing a lot of help in low income areas. I was doing security. I was helping all that. I got burned because I got like raised all this money, had people help out, got this lady a Christmas from her kids.
Sure.
And I find out 3 days later she sold it all for drugs.
Well,
so I
happens.
stopped helping there. And then on accident one day on Facebook, I saw that they were looking for Special Olympics powerlifting coaches for Springfield Park District here in Springfield. They have so many amazing programs for athletes with disabilities. And I worked, like one powerlifting season. It starts in January and goes on till like June. And after that time frame, I'm working with the kids like every Thursday at a gym in Springfield. And after that got done, I'm like, what do we do now? And they're like, well, now they go and compete in other activities, like summer sports, that type thing.
Sure.
And then, so it was done. And I was crushed. I loved working with these.
You loved working with
people,
the kids? Yeah.
with mental disabilities. Like I fell in love with it. Like I was talking,
great. Yeah.
I was talking to my wife and I'm like, what am I going to do? I was crushed, like I really love doing this. And she's all like, well, let's clean up the basement and you can see if you can't get a little bit of gym equipment and you can start coaching your kids again. So like I reached out to some people like Marty Curry. He bought all kinds of weights, donated to them, still amazing friend. And other people like donated bits and pieces. And I was able to start the gym.
So you were working with your kids in the basement?
Like one night a week.
Oh, and these are kids who you got to know from the Park District program?
It was 3 original ones, Chris, Ben, and Renee.
Okay.
So I was only working with 3 kids one night a week. But I started putting them on social media, like our workouts and stuff like that, and show how much fun and amazing these athletes are.
Yeah.
A little bit of time went on. Another parent would see our video. Hey, can I bring my child? Can I bring my child? Can I bring my child? I never said no.
Yeah.
To any of the kids.
Right.
And it went from 1 night a week to 2 nights a week. And finally 4 nights a week. I'd run powerlifting 4 nights a week and I'd work overnight security.
Overnight security, you were at the hospital.
The hospital.
Okay, you were at one of the hospitals.
And it was into like 2019. I was working security down in the ER.
Okay. You're
It
working in the ER at the hospital, security,
Yeah.
which is kind of sketchy
Yeah.
there, you know.
Like, I was big,
You were
I was
big, yeah.
perfect for
You
it.
were good for it. And at the same time, you are in the basement at your house with your equipment, working with the kids a couple nights a week,
Yeah.
couple days a week,
Yeah, a
whatever it
couple
was.
days a week.
Yeah.
And, then one night, there was a guy that
Yeah.
was drunk, high, all the above. The nurses were like, "Get him out of this ER." So I'm kinda, like, escorting him along the way,
Right.
and I get outside, and he turns around and sucker punches me. And it was just, like, reaction,
Right.
grab him, hitting him a few times, got him in handcuffs, and police officer was driving by, seeing what was going on, got that guy, detained, all that. Next day, I come into work, and they say I'm fired for, defending myself.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
it turned out to, like, be a blessing in disguise.
Right. Isn't it funny the way sometimes that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are gonna suck just to test you out.
Yeah. Within my own story, I was with an employer for 10 years during my whole slide into drinking, and the company went through layoffs. And I got laid right about the time, right before I turned 40 years old, I got laid off. I did get a great severance package, and I was able to take 6 months and kind of reinvent myself. And that's when the first time, now I didn't get into AA and I relapsed after this, but that was the first time I decided I'm committed to getting sober.
Yeah,
And I threw myself, I was 70 pounds more than I am now,
yeah,
all that stuff. And that gave me goals, right?
yeah,
So I lost the job, but I did get a great severance. I lost a ton of weight. I ditched the booze. I
yeah,
reinvented myself physically and got an even better job than the one I left. So where it sucked, it launched me into something else. Now, this isn't my story time, it's yours, but then my relapse happened after that. But to that point, my big relapse happened after that. But to your point, sometimes things have to suck to get a hell of a lot better than you ever thought they could be.
for sure.
And it sounds like that's where you're going before I cut you off.
Yeah.
All right.
Life's gonna suck before it gets
Right.
better.
Back to life sucking before it gets better.
So I had to have the whole side of my hand reconstructed and some tendons put back together from where I hit that guy. So I'm recovering from that, still coaching my classes in the
Okay.
evening, doing
Yeah.
all that.
No job, just coaching.
No job, just coaching. They wrongfully fired me, so I was able to collect unemployment for over a year. So it kind of worked out in the end.
All right.
I had a little bit of money coming in. Then COVID happened
Yeah.
and they shut down everything. And one of the first things they shut down is gyms.
Yes.
And I didn't take it too well. I couldn't work with my kids. I probably had
Right.
4 nights a week. I probably had 20 some kids coming through a week,
Okay.
And then COVID happened and they shut down the world. Couldn't work with my kids. So I'm all like, what am I going to do? Yeah. Then a couple months later, there's restrictions lightening up and the government released a loophole. You can go to gyms as long as it's one-on-one training.
Really?
Yes, and I found out about that. And me and my wife discussed it for a while. And finally, long story short, she's straight up told me, follow your dreams with the kids. I got you.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I was able to coach my kids again.
Yeah.
But this time I had to do it all one on one.
Right. So you had to follow the rules, but
Yeah.
you got back to being able to, follow your passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I'll say this, like, the kids, the athletes are like my happy place.
Oh, yeah. I know they are. You
Like,
would do that full time if you could, all the time, all
oh,
day
yeah.
long.
I
Yeah.
just love doing it.
Yeah.
Somehow along like this last 8 years, I got kind of good at it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably have over like 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
working
Well,
with it.
all you got to do is look at the Be Humble Gym social media stuff. You are quite popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. I love the gym social media because nobody there knows my real name. I never talk about myself,
Yeah.
unless it's something cool like before, after, like compare 10 years ago compared to what I am today.
Right.
Broad change,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I only been sober 9 years now, I'll be coming up on 10 years in January. So that's pretty cool.
Well, continuous sobriety, you're ahead of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys though. I kind of give the number for the whole journey. because I think it's a journey,
It's definitely a journey.
Yeah.
So I'm working with the kids full time now, still coaching out of my 700 square foot basement.
Y-
My wife's a night shift nurse, so she's upstairs sleeping when I'm working with the kids. Talking about a cool wife. What wife would have you let you run a gym in the basement while she's trying to sleep? Amazing. And it just kept growing. I started selling t-shirts and because I needed money to buy equipment with
Yeah. Yeah.
whatsoever. And I sold a bunch of t-shirts.
Yeah.
Like at first I was just selling them, like AA probably bought the first 50 t-shirts I ever
Okay.
had made.
Yeah.
Because the money from the t-shirts, like me and my wife were in debt because all my rehabs and all that.
Sure.
And I had to borrow $400 to get the t-shirts even made. And hope they started selling, and they start selling big time.
Cool.
And I was able to start buying gym equipment with the funding, all that. Then people were like, "Hey, you need to start a GoFundMe page. Like what you're doing is an amazing cause." And so started Be Humble gym page. Money started coming in. We're like, this great. Buy more gym equipment. I always invested all the money back
Into the gym.
into the gym
Sure.
because honestly, I ain't the smartest. I thought being a non-for-profit, like I would have never make profit from it because that's just how non-for-profits work. And that's how I treated it.
Right.
That's how I still treat it,
Yeah.
you know,
So all your proceeds, any bit of a donation that comes in goes back into the gym.
100%.
100%.
Like, and it's just not the gym that's all covered. Like if I take athletes to powerlifting competitions,
Gotcha.
strongman competitions,
Do you have overhead costs like insurance and things like that?
it's all wrapped up through the house.
Through
Like,
the house.
like
Okay.
all the electricity, all that's tied into the house. So like me and my wife pay that out of pocket, stuff like that. And we cover the cost of everything.
Okay.
We go somewhere, it costs money to get there. It costs money once you're there. It costs
Right.
money for entry fees. It costs money for food, all
Right.
that. Be Humble Gym, we just go in there, start as a tab, and that's the way we like it. Like most of my athletes have enough difficulties in their life how it is. So I want to make it so this isn't one of them.
No, that's great.
Everything's always 100% free.
Yeah.
They don't pay gym dues, they don't pay me anything. Honestly, most of the kids' parents want to like donate, and I'm like, no, it's free for you guys. And I've been very strict on that rule because a lot of things aren't free. Even
Right.
with Special Olympics, they have to pay to compete in Special Olympics, which is weird because, they're a non-for-profit and they get millions of dollars, but I don't know why they charge these kids. Whatever, different rant.
Right. Different. Yeah. That's how they
Yeah.
run their program.
Yeah.
It's not how Jordan runs the
Yeah.
Be Humble Gym.
Yeah.
But so with the financial aspect of starting and running your own nonprofit here, how did you said the most impressive thing to me when we got together for coffee one day. You said, because I was talking about Sober Awakening and nonprofit, being a nonprofit and all the administrative stuff I was starting to learn about and things that requirements. You said, I let Jesus take care of all that. And then you said, a Jesus of my understanding.
Yeah.
So for context, anybody listening to this, in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's not uncommon for people to talk about a higher power of their understanding because people come into AA and they have negative ideas about God because God has been taught to them a certain way, or and a lot of times they don't want to hear anything about God or even a higher power. So we kind of even take a step back and say, just let it be a higher power of your understanding. So you said a Jesus of my understanding.
Yeah.
Who is the Jesus of your understanding?
Well, let's start off. I grew up Roman Catholic. So
Me
it
too.
was fire, brimstone. You leave church feeling like shit because you feel like you're going to go to hell.
Yeah, I never had that experience with the Catholic Church. There were a lot of rules.
Yeah.
I maybe it's just the different churches and the different
it was
places we
more like
grow up.
the
You were raised in a more of a fire and brimstone strict.
Yeah.
If you break any of the expected dogma, then you will, if you don't go to confession, then you're a crispy critter when
Yeah.
you expire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that God, and he was long gone in my drinking and alcohol,
Sure.
and I got back into AA, and they were talking about God,
Right.
so I kind of played along with the whole God thing for a while. Then my best friend, I watched him die of bone cancer, like a horrible death. He was sober like 12 years, had full custody of his son. So his 7-year-old son at the time was watching his dad die every day too. And, I'm working with athletes and I'm like, why the hell would God do this to some people? It's just rough some days. Like, why does God make disabilities?
Sure.
So I ended up getting a bad taste in God. Then when you're sober in recovery, a lot of people aren't going to stay sober. A lot of your friends you bond it with are going to die. I had countless people I became friends with in AA and they died, and all this. And with that bad taste in God and me doing what I do for the gym, everybody kept saying I was doing God's work.
Yeah.
And that just pissed me off, doing God's work. No.
You just did not like the idea of God.
Yeah, I hated the idea of God. God's around, but I don't have the same beliefs as he does, so I started saying doing Jesus errands.
Jesus. You wanted to talk Jesus, not God.
And like Jesus is like, it's hard to explain. Like my Jesus just wants me to be the best dude I can be. My Jesus, he don't live in these billion-dollar churches. My Jesus ain't gonna give a shit about all that. Why would my
Yeah.
Jesus want to make it so some pastor got rich? Why would I listen to some pastor that hasn't lived the life I lived? He's telling me how I should live my life every
Right.
day. I can't go for that.
Yeah.
My Jesus is pretty cool. He was a real person, you know. Jesus, might have had a little bit of issues with alcohol.
Maybe.
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 Jesus, I can compare myself to. Like he was a dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
God is way beyond my understanding.
Right.
So it's not work for like a Jesus. It's hard to explain. I ain't no church Jesus.
You are right. You're
It's
not.
more of like a higher power,
Yeah.
and I call him Jesus.
Yes. To me, Jesus was a guy who showed us how to embody the Christed God essence as a person.
As a person,
And to
not a
do
religion.
as a person. And the way to do that in my mind is to love unconditionally, to forgive truly, and to walk as well as you can in a state of non-judgment through the
Yeah.
world. And that's that. You do that, then you are in line with Jesus.
Yeah.
That's me. How about you?
My Jesus is pretty cool. I have a pretty nice car. It goes fast. Every day that it's safe to go fast, I go 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour. On the way to the meeting today, we hit 111 down 2-lane country
You better
road.
hope the Sherman cop doesn't see this. He's gonna be looking for you. You probably know him.
I know all of them.
Okay.
Like, it's cool what I do. Like, part of being in, like, working with disabilities, a lot of stuff with Special Olympics. Guess who does a ton of stuff with Special Olympics? All the police.
All the police. So yeah, okay. So they know
They
you.
know me. They know my car. They're like, he's a little fast. He's a little stupid, but he's a good dude. He helps these kids out.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not going to drive, like fast around other people. I just drive fast every day because if Jesus wants to kill me, he can kill me. And I get to do something that I get to go out the way I want to.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. I mean, when our number is up, our number's up. Right? So you're like, if it's going to be my day, it's going to be my day.
Yeah, I shouldn't live this long.
Right. And as long as I'm doing it where it's not going to take anybody else out, then whatever.
I still need to stay alive a little bit more. I still got a lot more good deeds to do.
I would say, look at this gym you built for these kids. Now, you were telling me as I was setting up, you have had the gym, the Be Humble gym has been in existence for how many years?
7.
7. And you have had probably in that time 100,
I'd say about 100 different kids come
100
and
different
go,
athletes come and go through the door?
or like at least come and try it out.
Yeah,
Because I always tell parents, they're like, I don't know if it's going to be right for my kid.
right.
I'm always like, it costs you zero money to come out and try. Like I have zero education working with kids with disabilities. Graduated 78 out of 81 people. You know, uh, tried college, it didn't work for me. I was too ADHD. And I just tried really hard. And if I didn't know about a disability, like I'd focus, on that disability until
Sure.
I tried to figure out everything or at least know what to expect.
Right.
I probably worked with like over 15 different disabilities like throughout the years. And I just wing it now. It comes like natural to me. And it's weird because working with a lot of different athletes and different disabilities and seeing the athletes like react with other people with disabilities, they just know. And the more I work with kids with autism, like the more 100% I think I have autism because a lot of things that people with autism do, it's now there's a word for it. It's like self stimulation or something,
Mhm.
like the weird things they do, movements. Because I'd work with kids that are 8 years old, and I'm like, this little dude is a mini me. And same thing with like older kids, like 15, 16 years old. I'm like, I definitely did that.
Yeah. Now I get into a lot of spiritual, more esoteric things, and there's a very strong connection in the research that's been done out there between autism and spiritual connection to something else out there. Like
Yeah.
instances of psychic phenomena and
Yeah.
things like that, where, the autistic child will be able to know something that went on psychically, like have these
Yeah.
experiences where they're, helping police solve crimes and things like that.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like they have autism. There's a high degree of psychic ability in autistic people
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what they're starting to find,
Um,
which is interesting. But
Yeah, they didn't have autism in 1983
no, they
when
really
I was
didn't.
born.
No.
You know what they had? They had a whole bunch of quit being weird.
Right.
Like I grew up my entire life being told, "Don't be weird. Quit being weird." And it's a trigger to me nowadays. Before I like people are like, "Okay, you're going to go out and meet some people." They're like, "Don't be weird." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah. Like, I'm just gonna
I
beat
didn't
Jordan.
realize that until I got sober.
Yeah.
People told me that all the time. I
Uh,
just thought it was because of my drinking. So there's a high chance I'm probably on the spectrum to some degree.
So why do you think that you need to live a while longer? Because like you have the gym,
Yeah,
and you know what? This gym, you were just within the last about a year ago, you were the recipient of was it a $27,000 gift from the
$26,000 gift.
$26,000
Yeah.
gift from the local realtors
Yes.
association?
Yes.
You
It
put
made it
that
so
online. Yeah.
we were able to pay off
Congratulations on
everything.
that. That was
You
awesome.
know,
You got it all paid off. And
yeah.
I mean, this is a
Every
nice setup.
yeah, everything is 100% paid for.
Yep.
So that means I don't have to pay overhead
Right. And
without
was this your garage originally, or did you put this structure
oh,
up?
negative. This used to be a basketball court.
I was going to say what you put online a couple years back when you were constructing
Yeah,
this place. It was there was nothing here
it was bare.
because it's built kind of like with the garage doors and everything,
Ye
but
I
it was not a garage previously. It's its
oh,
own
we
structure that
built this.
you got the money for and you put
Yeah,
up.
we ended up raising a lot of money going through our 501(c)(3).
Yeah.
Like, we had local, like, the Down syndrome Lincoln Lane Down Syndrome Association.
Yeah.
They donated $9,000. The Cool Cruisers car show,
Yeah.
in Springfield donated some money. Officer Daniels, from social media, he has, like 5, 6 million followers. And he also
Okay.
has a sister with Down syndrome. He did a fundraiser and raised like 17,000.
Wow.
And all this has been going on. So I was still coaching and I'm just stockpiling money so we can build a gym for the kids in the backyard.
Yeah, which you've obviously done.
I don't know if it was, just knowing where the basement gym was going to go. But as soon as I had the basement gym, barely even set up, hardly any any equipment. I'm like, I'm gonna build these kids a gym in my backyard.
That's awesome. And here we are in the gym
World's
in your backyard. You
you
got it
know,
done. Well, it's kind of funny. I feel like when we are in the right place on our spiritual path, and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in our life, we're doing
yeah,
our true vocation, fulfilling our purpose, we are just divinely protected. Life just unfolds how it's supposed to happen. The roadblocks are just mysteriously removed.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, uh,
it's the Jesus of your understanding who's taking care of all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I came up with some rules of life. Another reason I think I have autism, I got rules in life. Rule number one, take care of people who take care of you. That means like nurses, receptionists, janitors, whatever.
Yeah.
People who serve your food. Make
Yes.
sure you take good care of them because they can make it so you have a really bad day.
Yes.
Don't mess with them people.
Yes.
Then rule two is don't tell anybody everything.
Yes.
You know, like person that I'd say knows everything about what I do now is my wife, but she don't know everything. Like she don't want to know about the old Jordan. She don't need to know.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
Oh,
human being on the planet that has somebody that knows everything about them.
I had one.
Did you?
Yeah, Raymond, my best friend who died of bone cancer.
Oh,
He was the only one that knew everything. You know, and yeah,
all right.
I mean, there's some people that know like parts of me. There's some people that know other parts. I'm sure if they did a collab, they could maybe piece together my
They
story.
did a collab on Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Geordie collab.
Yeah.
Then rule number three is like the golden rule: treat
Okay.
others how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
But you know that isn't enough for me, so I came up with treat others better than you want to be treated. Everything will work out in the end.
That is 100% truth
Because,
right
like,
there, brother.
you know, even if people take advantage of you, that ain't on you. That's on them.
Right.
Guess what? I'm going to help another person that needs the help more,
Yeah.
you know, and it'll be all okay in the end.
Yeah. So what are your goals? We've run over an hour here. I try to keep these to
Oh, hell,
I know we could chat for like 2 hours on this
Yeah.
stuff. What are your goals for the Be Humble Gym now that you've got
Be humble, Jim. Man, out of all the messages and phone calls and all that I get, all the parents want to be humble Jim in their area. And I, you know, it's hard. You know, it's just me and my wife, my mother-in-law that run everything. You know, like we do it all. And I wouldn't know how to expand or anything.
Right.
But there needs to be more of these, man. You know, but yeah, I had to start working full time. It was like one of the hardest decisions I had to make, not coaching the kids full time. You know, times are tough in the kingdom, you know, and it has to be free for the kids. I can't charge
Yeah.
them.
Well, you haven't slowed down with the gym. You've just added to your workload.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
to just
You
kind
know,
of make a little extra right now.
yeah, times are tough in the kingdom. So I had to go back to work, but I'm still working with the kids 3 nights a week. You know, I do different classes. I have like a boot camp class, then I have a powerlifting class, then I
Yeah.
have a circuit training class. I want to do like one more, but like with my schedule, it makes it hard because,
Right.
you know, I leave for work at 5:30 in the morning. And if I don't get done coaching kids till 6:30, that's a 13-hour day, you know, that I do 3 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Let me ask you this in conclusion. So you have goals. You'd love to expand. You don't
Yeah.
have the time.
I mean,
You're
if I could
stretched,
find a way to make
right?
money,
Yeah.
pay rent, yeah.
Where can people find you if they are interested in if they have a potential athlete that would like to
Yes.
come work for you, or they are interested in supporting anything you do here in terms of a donation or volunteering or anything
Oh, yeah,
like that?
and
Where
we're
can people find you?
just on social media, Be Humble Gym. We're on Facebook, Instagram. You can look
Sure.
up my Facebook or Instagram. It's just Jordan Matulevich. And but I put more of my personal life on my personal things and gym
Sure.
life on the gym things.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, like, but you get to see both perspectives because I post from like I'm not quiet about my sobriety.
Yeah, neither am I.
1%. I
Obviously.
scream that from the roofs
Right.
because people reach out. you know?
Right. They do.
They need help getting sober. This addiction and alcoholism is still rampant in the streets.
I tell you what, it's funny, even with putting this podcast that I've done in the last year out, I get people calling me all the time.
Yeah.
They want
yeah.
advice. They want, whether it's their own sobriety or a
Yeah.
loved one that's going through it. I tell them I'm no addiction counselor, but
Yeah.
people just want somebody to reach out to.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they really do.
I am always available.
Yeah.
I love helping people get sober. I love seeing people get their life back together.
Yeah.
Love being able to see people be a father or a mother.
Once you get sober, I tell people that if you can take the alcohol or whatever it is out of your life, you will find a life that is better than you ever had before you sunk into the depths of your addiction.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like what you said, sometimes it's just gotta suck in order to get way better than you ever thought it could. Speaking of the Jesus of your understanding, and I think I might have mentioned this already, but I call my fall into addiction and what I've gone through and come back from afterwards, I call it my personal death and resurrection. Because, oh my God, I am so much different. And everything, I'm a better me than I even was before it really took hold in my 30s, you know? And, hell, now what I only deal with now is I look back at like my 20s when it wasn't so bad for me yet. And I even wish it's like, well, there were good times, but though I'm like, man, I wish this me could go back to my 20s, you know? No, you don't.
I wish I'd go through it all to suck again to have what I have today. Because if I didn't go to the depths I wouldn't have the life I had. And she's the most amazing human ever, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have this amazing life I get to live, you know?
So you have no regrets.
Oh, I got a lot of
That's where I was going. Like, back in my 20s, like, I would have done this
That's why I got to stay alive
a
a little bit longer, because I got to make up for all the bad shit.
Oh, so you think you have some karmic atonement there to do?
Yeah. Like, I don't think I've done enough good, you know, to make up for all the bad I did.
Oh,
I've been sober coming up on 10 years.
Oh,
I was a piece of shit for 32 years.
I don't think the Jesus of your understanding.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the Jesus of your understanding, but the Jesus of my understanding is not keeping a clock on you.
I heard a lot of people. I still got a lot more good to do.
All right.
You know, and doing good is addictive.
It can be.
As long as you don't do it for your own benefit. I mean, people see me doing my Jesus errands and all that, you know, but people don't really see what I do.
Yeah. With what I do and this stuff, I do say there is benefit in it to me because it keeps me sober.
Oh, yeah.
So I am doing this for my benefit, but hopefully in doing it for my benefit, it is benefiting a ton of other people. And I think you're in the same, but I mean, the Be Humble Gym and doing this does benefit you.
Yeah. I mean, these kids kept me sober more than anything. They done it with love.
Yeah.
I had a couple
and times. They do love you. You can tell
it's unconditional.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even like with my teenage boys, like after boot camp, they all line up to give this dude a hug, end of it, you know? And I'm like, that's just wonderful.
And then when you do finally go out, however you're going to go out, whether it's in your car or whatever, and you go punch your ticket and you go over to the other side.
I hope I make it to the good side.
I'll tell you what, all those guys who are lining up to give you a hug and everything, like it's those hugs that are going to be the currency that gets you in the good side.
Oh yeah.
Over there. It's not going to be all the other stuff, the people living in the mansion, you know, all that. It's going to be those hugs that are going to give you the points you need to get to where you want to be over there.
I can't wait to make it to heaven and have a chat with Jesus and ask him how I did. You know,
I think he's already very pleased. I think he's already pretty darn pleased with what Jordan's done. So anyway, we're going to wrap up on that note, Jordan. Thanks for having us out. This is an amazing thing you have done here.
Look up Be Humble Gym, Facebook, Instagram. Look up me, Jordan Matulevich. It explains a lot more behind the scenes stuff and a lot more like in depth. If you have an athlete with a disability, mental or physical, and you want to come here, work out, it's free to try. 100% free. If they love it, awesome. I get a new athlete to work out with. They don't like it, awesome. It didn't cost you anything.
And you got to meet someone new.
I got a new friend.
You got a new
You may
friend,
not
and
be
there's
able to
yeah,
work out with us, but if you got another event, I'll be there.
yeah,
You know,
that's great.
because I'm just not a coach. I was a friend before I was a coach.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Look up Special Olympics. You know, they do some amazing work.
Yep.
You know, there as well. Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Well, thank you, Jordan. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tim.
We've been here from the Be Humble Gym on the Sober Awakening podcast with my guy from AA, Jordan of the Be Humble Gym. All right, guys, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Sober Awakening podcast. We are so grateful and excited that you're part of this journey. As always, please remember any businesses, services, or individuals mentioned here are shared because they resonate with our mission. We receive no financial benefit from promoting them. It's all about guiding you toward what inspires and empowers your journey. If you've found value in this podcast, please consider supporting our mission with a tax-deductible donation at www.soberawakening.org. Every contribution helps us continue providing resources and inspiration for those seeking sobriety and spiritual fulfillment. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and visit us at soberawakening.org for more resources and upcoming events. Let's continue this path together toward a life of sobriety and spiritual fulfillment. We love you so much. Until next time, stay sober-minded and intuitively guided.